Good day, my friends, and how are you doing? My name is Eric Anderson, and I'm here once again playing around with this Metronome Beats app thingy. And today I'm actually quite excited about a new discovery that I have with respect to this app and how we can now use this app to train ourselves to become rhythm gurus. And what I mean by that, and where this is really going to focus its attention, is this series of videos is specifically going to address how to use the metronome to map out the rhythms that we see in sheet music. Like whether it's pep band music or it's concert music or it's drumline music or it's working with the symphony or the orchestra or any other occasion where you have specific notes that are to be played in a very specific rhythmic way. Not everyone in the music spaces learns how to read music, and candidly, as a musician, I'll tell you, it's probably the most challenging thing to figure out because it really is a written language that takes a little bit of time to figure it out. So I'm going to use this feature that has not been presented here before on the Metronome Beats app tutorials as really kind of like the foundation for building rhythms in most of the music that you're going to encounter. I will say real quick, I have come across a couple of situations where the Metronome Beats app is actually not going to work. But on the other side of the coin, if you play around with everything that it does have to offer, you're probably going to be able to figure out the little bit that it doesn't get with little to no problem. So today, what I want to do is this, right? The feature that I'm going to show you, it looks a lot, it's that center feature, and it looks a lot like the mighty Rubik's Cube, right? With 9 squares right in the middle of it. And you look at it, it's right there in the middle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up like that. Now, not only that, but I'm also going to draw your attention towards the idea that there's 4 beats in a bar. And we have it set up to have 4 clicks per beat. And this is important because, and I'm going to go through the whole time signature thingy to help get this all set up. This maps us to playing a measure in 4/4 time with the possibility of playing 16th notes. And I'm going to show you what I mean. So I'm going to hit this grid and I'm going to open it up like that. And what I really love about this is that with the grid open, this first 12 block grid is beat 1. The second 12 block grid is beat 2. The third is beat 3. And obviously the fourth is beat 4. What I also like about this is that you have your alpha, you have your beta, and you have your Charlie right there, these different rows. You can use those in creative ways, and I'm going to kind of tinker around with that just a little bit. And then at the end, I'm going to map out one measure of 4/4 time that uses eighth notes, and it uses quarter note, eighth note and quarter note combinations. So what I'm going to do is this. Line A, I'm going to assign as the quarter notes. So instead of having this quarter note here, I'm going to put it up here. And you can see that with line A, that every note lands right on the click and is to be sustained all the way until the next click, and then to beat 3 and to beat 4. Now, the eighth notes, if you know a little bit about your music theory, the eighth notes are half the duration of your quarter notes. So, and you can see this here, that it takes 2 eighth notes would make up 1 quarter note. And they need to be equally spaced, and these 2 eighth notes need to be able to be played in the same period of time that you would play the 1 quarter note. And I could go all the way across like that. And then to take a look at line C, I'll use line C to document in the future where the 16th notes are being played. And this is a kind of cool way of thinking about it. If you're counting it, we have one and we have and. Oh, that's a new discovery. Just so you, wow, I didn't know that. Got distracted. If you hit the C, the Charlie, you can hear the pitch. That's the pitch for Baker or beta. That's the pitch for alpha, but that's not what I was shooting for. What I was shooting for is that if you count these rows, this is one, E, and I'm going to put this blue right there on the E and the second blue on the So now what you have is this phrase, which is one, E, and then I'm just going to leave the quarter notes on 2, 3, and 4 so you can hear. So I like to do this just so it kind of gives me context of seeing and hearing where the E and the actually land with respect to the click, or with respect to the beat, because these are by far and away the most challenging ones to feel, so that you can know that you're not going to play right on beat 1, but you're not going to play halfway between beat 1 and beat 2, which is this 8th note. It needs to land like right in between those two 8th notes, which is actually quite the challenge when you don't have those extra notes around you. So this is what I'm going to do now, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to map out the first measure that you're going to see up here using 8th notes and quarter notes only. So I'm going to get rid of these. And the way that this first measure comes out, you actually just have this. I'm going to take this off so that when you take a look at this first measure, the way that it maps out is this is 1 and then 2, 3, 4, right? So 1 and 2, 3. I don't like that. I was just playing with it, right? So if I turn this on, you can hear the rhythm without a problem. And I just got the line B maps out when 8th notes are being played. Line A maps out when quarter notes are being played. So what I'm going to do now is in this little piece that I have put together, I'm actually going to map out the next measure, which you're going to see right here, which obviously is measure 2. And that one is going to be mapped out like this. So we're going to have beat 1 is going to have a quarter note. Beat 2 is going to have the 2 8th notes. Beat 3 is going to have a quarter note. And beat 4 is going to have the 2 8th notes. So with a setup like that, this is what we're going to hear. Two, 3, 4, and stop. Right? We'll stop it right there. So now we could take a look at measure number 3. And measure number 3 is going to be mapped out like this. We got a quarter note for beat 1. We got a quarter note for beat 2. So we're going to take those out. Set that quarter note up there. But then in beat 3, we have 2 8th notes. 2 evenly spaced notes over 1 quarter note. And then in beat 4, we have the same thing. So now we get this. 3, 4, and stop. Not that. All right. And then finally, I'm going to map out measure 4 so you can see this. So measure 4 looks like this. We have, instead of having quarter notes, we have 8th notes on 1 and. We have 8th notes on 2 and. We have a quarter note on beat number 3, and then we have 2 8th notes on beat 4. So now you get this. 1, 1, 1. So what this is, right here, I'm just demonstrating some very basic rhythms and how you can set up the Metronome Beats app to actually get it to play the rhythms the way that you want. Now you can do this too. There is no requirement that you have to use line A, line B, and line C and get your 16th notes and your 8th notes and your quarter notes. There's nothing that says that, like in this particular rhythm, there's nothing that says that we cannot put this third beat down here, and just know that because it's a quarter note, there's not going to be any additional notes played in the rest of this grid. And then we can just play it so that we just have one, pretty much a monotone kind of rhythm that's going on, kind of like a drum, which would go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, stop. So as long as you're aware of where you're at in the measure, or what we'll say where we're at in the count, you can just as easily set it up like this. Just keep in mind, I'm going to reset the colors. 2/8 notes is going to take up the same distance as 1/4 note. 2/8 notes, this 1/4 note takes up the full distance, the same distance as 2/8 notes. It's just like a measuring cup. Two quarter cups make a half cup. 2 half cups make a whole cup. Kind of works along the same system. 2/8 of a cup make a 1/4 of a cup. 2/16 of a cup make 1/8 of a cup. It's basic fractions that's cleverly disguised as music, which makes it some of the coolest stuff in the world. So my friends, that's it. That is a very basic demonstration of how you can use this app to map out the rhythmic phrasing of a song so you can hear it. It's not going to give you the particular pitches. It's not even going to give you like any other expressive kind of phrases. But first, in my opinion, set the foundation by having the correct rhythmic phrasing working, and then you can work on expression and articulation of the notes to get the desired effect out of the music. That's where the musician comes into play, and the metronome's not going to do that for you. So with that being said, my friends, have fun. I'm going to get out of here, and I will see you on the next video, all right? Bye-bye.